today I'm going to do a little experiment, because I did this the other day. Some of you will remember I was contemplating and questioning and experimenting to see if I had horse mushrooms or I had yellow stainers, because there's only one discernible difference between those two mushrooms, and the yellow stainer stains. But these field type mushrooms do stain to a degree, and so it's a case of whether they stain chrome yellow or just a little bit yellow. And so what I've done, I've got some mushrooms here, and this one I think is particularly interesting. Very nice mushroom, and I don't know, off the top of my head I'm thinking, is it like a false chanterelle, because it's just a little bit orange? I don't know, probably not. But the ones that I have in question are here. Now you can see here that I've started to mess around with this little one, and it's going yellow, but the flesh isn't actually going yellow. Inside it's only the little bit of the flakes on the outside. Let's have a look there. Now this is a little bit mature because it's opened fully, but you can see it's staining pretty well, right? This one, let me see what this one's doing. Some of them you would have seen that they stain bright yellow in an instant, but I think they do that the younger they are. But we can see that these are staining yellow, yeah? And so what I've got some water on the boil, boiling furiously. So I'm going to turn both of those off, and open the window a little bit. And I've got this mushroom here. Now I would hazard a guess that this one isn't a yellow stainer, and so I'm going to do that. I think this is just like a field mushroom or something like that nature. So I'm going to cut off the bottom and just clean that up a little bit, and then I'm going to cut it. Well, it's proper maggoty inside, but cut it into 4, and then I'm going to drop it into a pan, and then these here I'm going to do the same. Cut them down the centre, just so you can see that there really isn't any danger when you're dealing with these varieties of mushrooms, unless you're completely stupid. But you know, they're very discernible to see whether you've got a yellow stain or not. And like I said, the yellow stainers won't kill anybody. Now, nothing staining on there. Let's see if I can create a staining on here. And you see there's a little bit of staining around the edge here. A little bit of faint staining. So what I'm going to do is, and this one isn't staining there, so I'm thinking, well, that one might not be yellow stainers. So I'm going to pop them in the saucepan, and I'm going to cook them. These ones we can pretty well say are yellow stainers. So let's see what happens, shall we? Okay, so I've got the pans here. Now, whilst that is coming to the boil, I've got these rose syrups. These weren't the ones I picked yesterday. These were the ones that I picked about a week before, when they were very, very firm. From the same bushes, but they were very firm. But now you see what's happened to these is they've all gone very, very soft. And so I'm going to boil these down, and if you do that, you can squeeze, you see the squeezing? I'm going to boil these down. I'm going to make some jam or some syrup out of those a bit later. So let's just now stir these. And this one I can see instantly already. The water is going bright yellow. This one, now then, the interesting thing about here is, look, in one of these field type mushrooms, you know, the agaricus, they stain red when cut. And so we can see that this one's stained red. Whether you can see it there, this one's staining red. And so I don't think we've got a problem with that one at all. This one is that one there you go, starting to go yellow. So let's just see what happens. So we've got a good idea of, even if we got the wrong ones, we are not going to be ended up, you know, getting really sick, because we're going to see what the deal is. So just to break those in half. Like that. Okay, can you see what's going on here, people? I'm going to turn them up. And so this one here, we can see that we've got a little bit of a tingy yellow in there. You see a bit of a golden yellow there. And we've got one mushroom, the biggest one, which I didn't think was going to have a problem with at all, but wasn't sure about the smaller ones. Now the smaller ones, they are weeping yellow, and these big ones here, they are, you know, pretty yellow. And it's kind of like, okay, so I know what the deal is with you guys. Let's see if we can just induce a little bit more of this yellowing to come out. Now the other day when I did this, they went massively brighter yellow. They were probably younger, and so they were emitting more of this yellow chrome-like dye from them. But a regular mushroom wouldn't give you any of that dye, wouldn't give you any yellow. And so then here we're seeing now that this one is a horse mushroom, field mushroom, or fucking macropocipus, or whatever the fuck they're called, but they're edible. And we're now seeing that there is no yellowing on these. Yellowing's gone. Okay, but these, they are very yellow. The flesh is still very yellow. So, looking at these, I would still have some doubt whether they were actually yellow stainers. So turn them off. All boiling nicely. And even after a while, the yellow starts to diminish. It's evaporated. So let's have a look what we've got here then. We've got some golden type, you know, cider looking or lager looking juice in there, and the mushrooms, they're pretty yellow, aren't they? We can see they're pretty yellow. They're not absolutely, you know, bursting chrome yellow like they do when they're young, but they're yellow. So I'm satisfied that they were yellow stainers. This mushroom here, stained red, no problem with that one at all. Gonna get rid of that one. That one wasn't edible, and then we'll look at these, and we can see that there's a little tinge of yellow in the middle of that one. On the outsides, nothing really discernible. The water, it's kind of like dirty, brown rather than yellow, and so again, because there's two mushrooms mixed here, difficult to tell, but we could discern that one wasn't yellow at all. So if you've got any doubt about this stuff, then just don't ever touch anything that goes yellow. And so I think it's pretty conclusive. So I'll drain these off and I'll bin these, and then, like I say, what I'm going to do is I'm going to I've got this batch here of these rose hips, and they're ready to go. Second batch, what I got yesterday, and they're still very, very firm. They're going to take a week to soften up and be ready. So I'm going to boil those down today, and I'll let you know what happens to those, what they taste like, the consistency and everything like that, when I show you the finished product of the meal I'm going to be cooking today. Now the meal I'm going to be cooking today is one of my favourite meals. It's cheese and potato pie. So you need a big bag of spuds. You need one whole onion, big one. You need a good bunch of mushrooms. Then you need a good slab of cheese, and I don't even think that's going to be enough. I'm going to have to go and get some more cheese. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to boil up the potatoes. I'm going to boil up a whole onion in a separate pan till it's softened a little bit. Then I'm going to mash the potatoes. I'm going to turn the boiled onions into the mashed potatoes. I'm going to grate all this cheese, and I'm going to turn this into the potato also. Then I'm going to put the potato mix in a Pyrex dish, and sprinkle a good lump of cheese, probably about the same again, on top, nice and thick, so it goes brown and crispy. And then I'm going to plaster it with sliced tomatoes. Then, once the cheese and potato pie is done, I boil up the mushrooms, fry them in butter and olive oil, and then put some bacon in the oven and get a tin of beans. So all these things, they just add to it, and you eat the cheese and potato pie with the crunchy onion and cheesiness inside, with a crispy piping hot mature cheddar and tomato on the top. That in itself is a sensory explosion. It's pure ecstasy. It's human ecstasy from the oven. But then we have some nice baked beans, juicy tomato sauce baked beans. We have nice crispy succulent smoked salted bacon, and the mushrooms. Anyway, without any further ado, I best